Coming up on Sports Extra, it looked like there were two different teams on the court for UNC between Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon.
March Madness is just a few weeks away, but the men's tennis team didn't wait until March to bring home a trophy.
And one of Carolina's own put on a show on the international stage. All that and more, Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
What a difference a few days can make, from the lowest of lows to a performance that was national championship caliber. Hello, I'm Jordan Black.
And I'm Rivers Upchurch. Welcome to Sports Extra. We'll break down all that went wrong for the men's basketball team against Duke and all that went right against Miami. There's plenty to talk about in both cases, but we'll start with the meltdown against Duke because, frankly, we'd like to get it over with as soon as we can. The greatest rivalry in college sports, Roy Williams, the beloved Coach K. It's bound to be a good one, and it was the Bryce Johnson show in the first half, as here he gets the feed from Page and an acrobatic finish, and then a putback dunk on a missed three on his way to 29 points and 19 boards. Ramsey's loving it. UNC led by 4 at the break, but Grayson Allen did his best to spoil that as he gets the and one here. Allen had 23 points on the night, and Brandon Ingram could not miss in the second half. As you see here, he gets the tough shot to fall over Theo Pinson. And of course, the last play of the game, trailing 74-73. UNC looks utterly confused on offense. Barry gets up a highly contested shot, nothing but air. Tar Heels lose by 1 point. And there was a lot of talk after the game about whether Roy should have called a timeout to set up a play.
Coach Smith taught me, and I believe, and I'm not blaming it on Coach Smith by any means, it's my call. I think you should always attack before the defense gets set. It's all I've always believed. It's what I was taught. It's the way I've always played. And I told the kids I should have called a timeout.
Now the Heels couldn't get the win, and a big reason, Bryce Johnson couldn't get the ball down the stretch. After recording a double-double in the first half, the senior took only 1 shot during the final 13 minutes of the game and had to look at Marshall Plumlee every possession. A lack of post scoring really hurt the Heels down the stretch, especially because Carolina was cold from the outside all night.
The second hidden stat of the day points toward the close losses that UNC has had this season. North Carolina has lost 5 games this season by a combined 17 points. That averages out to 3.4 points per loss. Comparatively, when the Tar Heels win, they win by an average of 17.8 points per game. So this UNC team is struggling in games that are decided late. If this team wants to make a deep run in March, they will need to learn how to win those close games.
The Tar Heels rebounded from that Duke loss in a big way, absolutely demolishing the Miami Hurricanes Saturday afternoon. Bryce Johnson was out for blood, scoring 16 points and grabbing 15 boards as he racked up his 16th double-double of the year. Oh, and he's pumped. That's 6 more than he's had in the past 3 years. Justin Jackson also came to play, hitting 3 three-pointers like that one there, and he had 15 for the Heels. Carolina never let the Canes into the game, leading by as many as 38 in the second half. And while the offense was on fire, the Heels also played solid defense, getting a steal and turnover here. All that momentum on both sides of the court carried the Heels to a 96-71 win, serving as the jolt they needed following Wednesday's loss.
After an up-and-down week of basketball here at UNC, we need to bring in basketball analyst Caleb Waters to break it all down for us. Caleb.
Thanks, Rivers. I'm surprised you guys allowed me back here after what I said about Justin Jackson a couple weeks ago, but hey, it looks like it may have inspired him. Now, there were essentially 2 separate teams out on the court for UNC on Wednesday night and on Saturday afternoon. In the Duke game, the Heels went 1 for 13 from beyond the arc. That's an atrocious 7.7%. And it wasn't just the typical culprits either. It was Marcus Page, Joel Berry, Justin Jackson, and basically anyone else on this team who shoots threes. Now in the Miami game, it was a whole different story. UNC shot 9 of 20, or 45% for you math majors, from beyond the arc, and everybody was getting involved. Justin Jackson, buckets. Joel Berry, he says buckets. Even Nate Britt goes on to quote Oliver Twist here, says, "Please, sir, I want some more buckets." When the Heels shoot well from beyond the arc, it forces defenders to respect the range and doesn't allow for the double team down low. At their best, Bryson Kennedy, with some off-the-bench production from Isaiah Hicks, of course, are one of the most dominant front courts in the NCAA. Because the Heels didn't shoot well against Duke, the Blue Devils were able to clog up the paint and force the UNC forwards to take tough shots. But when North Carolina shot the ball well, as they did against Miami, it opened up space for guys like Bryce Johnson to assert himself down low. Here you're going to see Bryce get the feed to Isaiah. Easy 2 points on the dunk. Let's take a look at this one more time. Marcus's defender is going to come out and bite on the pump fake, which is going to give Marcus just a little bit of space to drive. Now Bryce's defender commits on the pick and roll. Bryce gets the ball. Great pass inside to Isaiah. All of that opened up because Marcus's defender bit on the pump fake outside. Now let's take a look at the stats to back this up. Bryce Johnson isn't factored into this equation because he's shown he's going to score regardless of what his teammates do. But for the other three bigs, it's evident that when the three ball falls, the post opens up. Kennedy, Isaiah, and Joel combined for 12 points against Duke. But against the Hurricanes, those same three big men combined for 26 points, obviously because of the more effective floor spacing. Now, Rivers, as we get into the last leg of the season, UNC is going to have to shoot the ball well. If the Heels can't make the three consistently, I think they're going to lose close games. And finally, Rivers, I want to bring something up. I think we may have a conspiracy theory on our hands. Roy has 86 points with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game and can't break 100. Maybe he's more of a Chick-fil-A guy, but I think he and Bojangles have some dirty dealings under the table.
Well, that's a controversial opinion. First, you're on here ragging about Justin Jackson, and then you come on with a Duke tie and
hey, for the record,
accuse Roy.
These are my high school colors. Go Cougars.
All right, that's all we got. Thank you, Caleb, for the basketball analysis. Basketball analyst Caleb Waters. Thanks.
Before Saturday's big win against Miami, basketball analyst Doug Gottlieb of CBS openly speculated that Roy Williams might retire before next season and have Hubert Davis replace him as head coach. Williams shot back after his post-game press conference.
That's sinful. Sinful. You have no freaking idea what you're talking about. This is a guy that said that couldn't put his damn pants on the right way when he was playing at Oklahoma State. Kansas crowd would bring shorts on backwards. And Doug, I like Doug. But there's no, that's not journalism. Don't make up crap.
What a strong statement from Roy, and we just want to assure all of you that our pants are in fact on the right way.
Every year, the university recognizes 2 black former student athletes as Tar Heel trailblazers for dedicating their college years to UNC athletically and academically. The 2016 recipients are basketball legend Phil Ford and track and field star Sharon Couch Fikes. Ford and Couch Fikes were recognized at halftime of Saturday's game and at a private reception in the business school. Carolina professors, administrators, and student athletes came to listen to the wise words of the Tar Heel alums. Ford has the 2nd most points and 3rd most assists in UNC history and was National Player of the Year in 1978. Couch Fikes was the first Carolina track athlete to compete in the Olympics in 1992. She was also the first African-American woman to win the Patterson Award, Carolina's highest athletics honors.
Whether it was my effort as an Olympian, my effort as a mom, my effort as a servant, a worker, I like being known as a person that can come in and when you leave me, you feel like you can do it too.
And the individual success I had, is attributed to him, Coach Smith, and also attributed to the fantastic teammates that I had. I played with some really, really good basketball players.
Now the women's basketball team has been busy, taking on both Pitt Thursday and NC State Sunday at Carmichael Arena. Destiny Walker got going early for the Heels against Pitt on Thursday. She buries that 3 right there, but it would be a while before they found the bottom of the net again. You see Walker driving in and bricking the layup, and Stephanie Watts makes a case to be a FedEx spokesperson as she airmails that 3. Then Walker misses again from inside. Pitt was up 40-16 at halftime, so this student was like, well, I have a midterm to study for. Pitt closed it out and went home with a 76-60 win. The Tar Heels look to bounce back against NC State on Sunday in the annual Play for K game to raise awareness for breast cancer. Carolina was cooking from behind the arc. Watch drills that 3 there. And Jamie Cherry says, anything you can do, I can do better. Buckets. Then Destiny Walker was like, hey, let me have a chance too. The Heels were 12 for 26 from long range, and State's head coach says, can we call the fire department, please? Carolina is torching my defense. Wolfpack answered his call and extinguished the Heels' hot start by going on a 34-3 run. And even though Watts scored 30, State beat the Heels 80-66.
The women's lacrosse team was stuck in a swamp this weekend.
But the loss might actually be a good sign. We'll tell you why when we return.
The UNC baseball team traveled to the City of Angels for a 3-game series against number 9 UCLA. The 16th ranked Tar Heels opened the season with a 4-0 victory Friday night. Junior pitcher Zach Gallen struck out 11 and allowed only 4 hits in 7 2/3 innings. Saturday, the Heels fell to UCLA in a heartbreaker, 6-5 on a walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th. UNC pitcher struck out 16 batters, and allowed just 4 hits, but gave up 7 costly walks. Sunday's rubber match was a mauling, with UNC winning 14-5. 8 different Tar Heel batters drove in at least 1 run. The Tar Heels take the series victory 2-1 and host Oklahoma State this weekend.
The UNC softball team started its 2016 home campaign this weekend in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. North Carolina went 2-2 on the weekend, winning in walk-off fashion on Friday night against the Northwestern Wildcats. Northwestern returned the favor on Saturday, winning on a walk-off grand slam. The Tar Heels then split the series with the Fighting Illini. Illinois came away with a 4-1 win Saturday night, but UNC rallied on Sunday with a 9-2 win behind 5 RBIs and 2 home runs from, you guessed it, downtown Kristen Brown. UNC is now 4-6 on the season.
Though the men's basketball team lost to Duke, there was still a Carolina victory on the court. At halftime, the crowd cheered the 2016 men's tennis national indoor champions. Lindsay Sparrow tells us more.
Carolina Athletics is proud to recognize the 2016 Intercollegiate Tennis Association Indoor National Champions, the Carolina men's tennis team.
Though they hold a shiny, gratifying trophy for these hungry national champions and indoor MVP Ronnie Schneider, it only scratches the surface of their goals for the 2016 season.
While we were national champions and we did beat the best teams in the country, you know, each of us still think we could play better, which is a really cool thing because I don't think we've come anywhere close to our peak, and that's what we're trying to get to.
And Sunday, they showed just that with win after win after win after win. The team's dominating 7-0 victory against Wofford proves the #1 undefeated team in the country is back, and they're ready to bring the heat.
We really have only reached one of our goals, you know, so this now February, we've been in school now for a month, so we've hit one of our goals, so we got to keep getting better. And, you know, it's nice to be ranked 1 in the country, but we want to be ranked 1 at the end of the year.
And one way to secure the #1 spot in June, Schneider says, is their doubles performance.
In doubles, we lost in Charlottesville, we lost 3 of the 4 doubles points, which is really crazy to think that we could do that and still, you know, win the whole thing. So doubles has been a huge and will continue to be a huge focus of our team going forward.
And Robert Kelly says if the Heels can fix that flaw, the team won't be stopped.
We have a really special group of guys here and a special bond, and we could really do some damage and, you know, really make a name for not only ourselves but also the Carolina program.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Lindsay Sparrow reporting.
The Heels will try to extend their 11-match win streak on Wednesday against UNCG.
The #2 women's tennis team lost to #8 Michigan on the road in Ann Arbor on Saturday. The nation's #1 doubles team of Haley Carter and Whitney Kay suffered their first loss of the season. Carter and Kay both rebounded to win their singles matches, but the rest of the team couldn't follow suit, and the Heels suffered just their 2nd loss of the year. The team will look to get back on track on Friday when the Heels host Miami.
The Florida Gators took a bite out of the UNC women's lacrosse team on Fetzer Field Saturday. Carolina dominated the game in the first half. Marie McCool, look at that. She was on fire, scoring a career-high 6 goals. But it wasn't enough. Carolina held a 5-1 lead before the Gators started to push back. Florida outshot Carolina in the second half, and most of those shots found the back of the net. As UNC took its first loss of the season, final score Gators 16, Heels 15. 3 years ago, a loss to the Gators turned out to be a good thing. UNC women's lacrosse had not lost to the Florida Gators since February 2013. You know, the year the Heels went on to win the NCAA tournament. Maybe this early loss to the Gators is a sign the Heels are in for a deep postseason run.
Maybe, but the bad luck continued for Carolina lacrosse as the men's team also suffered its first loss of the season on Saturday. The Tar Heels fell to Hofstra 10-5 at Fetzer Field, Carolina's first loss to the Pride in 10 seasons. It was the worst offensive output by UNC since the 2014 NCAA tournament. Saturday's setback was just the 4th time that the Heels lost to an unranked team under head coach Joe Grushy. The UNC men's golf team is living it up this week, competing in the Puerto Rico Classic in, you guessed it, Puerto Rico. The Heels fired to a 10 under 278 to end Sunday in 2nd place, just 2 shots off the lead. Junior Carter Jenkins carded a 4 under 68, while junior Henry Doe and sophomore William Register both shot 3 under 69s. After Monday's 2nd round, Carolina is in 4th place in the 15-team field.
With the Olympics less than 6 months away, one star UNC field hockey player is looking to represent her nation on the U.S. women's national team. Our Jasmine Cornwell has more.
UNC senior Casey DiNardo has represented Carolina Blue for the past 3 years, but is now switching to a new blue, along with some red and white. The process along the way has been tough, but rewarding.
Because you feel like you're good on this team, fast, strong, and then you get there and all the girls are 10 times faster than you, 10 times stronger than you, so it's really difficult, but playing with them is like a dream come true because I want to work really hard to be at the same level as them.
Carolina became DiNardo's dream school while she was attending field hockey camps here. Now she is trying to go from dream school to dream team.
2 summers ago, I played in the high performance tournament over the summer, and I got selected by the head coach Craig Parnham to join the team as a transitional player.
She reached this level even though field hockey wasn't her original sport.
I originally played soccer, and then I told my mom, oh, I want to try out because they have these new skirt uniforms, and I really wanted to wear it.
From soccer to field hockey and Division I to a national team, DiNardo adjusts once again, this time to a greater level of speed and intensity.
I had to work out a lot harder, go to the gym more, run more, because I just physically am not at the same level as those girls yet.
DiNardo has made many sacrifices along the way, like missing out on family vacations, but has continued to keep a driven attitude.
My coaches here have always encouraged me to just stick with it and have pushed me to just make those sacrifices because in the end it will pay off.
Even if she reaches that ultimate goal, she won't forget her roots.
Once you're at Carolina, you're always at Carolina, so I can never just let go of the team.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Jasmine Cornwell reporting.
There could be as many as 7 current and former Tar Heels on the U.S. national field hockey team in Rio.
Swimming,
UNC senior Casey DiNardo,
track and field, and soccer.
With Rio coming up soon, we update you about all Olympic sports next on Sports Extra.
The UNC women's swimming and diving team had a nice showing at the ACC Championships. The star of the meet was definitely junior Helen Moffitt. The All-American earned hardware in all 3 of her individual events, establishing new school records in the process. Sophomore Lisa Dawson placed 2nd on the 3-meter board, yet another school record. The Heels clinched a 3rd place finish.
The UNC wrestling team traveled to Stillwater to tangle with the Cowboys of Oklahoma State on Friday. And it did not go well. The Tar Heels fell 33-6. The one bright spot for North Carolina, though, was redshirt junior Joey Ward. Ward handed the nation's top wrestler at 141 pounds his first loss of the year. The team turned things around on Sunday as they traveled to Charleston to finish out the regular season with a 33-12 victory against the Citadel. There were impressive second-period wins from John Michael Studemeyer and Ethan Ramos. This victory readies the Heels for the upcoming ACC Championships.
The North Carolina track and field team hosted the Dick Taylor Invite on Sunday. Former Tar Heel Devin Carter returned. He's the one in the white singlet to place 2nd in the men's 60-meter hurdles. Multis competitor Tori Kemp had a good meet, while thrower Sarah Howard won the shot put easily by more than 3 meters and figures to be one of the favorites at the ACCs.
After 3 consecutive home meets, the Carolina gymnastic team headed to Washington, D.C. this weekend for a quad meet. The Tar Heels faced New Hampshire, William & Mary, and George Washington. The ladies had a season-best score of 48.6 on the uneven bars and 48.7 on the floor. Notable performances from Morgan Lane and Lexi Capali led Carolina to 2nd place overall with 193.75 points, behind only George Washington. UNC alum Crystal Dunn has solidified her place in the impressive lineage of Tar Heel women's soccer, scoring 5 goals in a CONCACAF Olympic qualifying match for the United States women's national team. Dunn struck quickly, opening the U.S. scoring 6 minutes into the match, and then here she goes again, 20 minutes into the match, and then Dunn channeled her inner Lionel Messi with the left-footed strike from long range to complete her hat trick, but she was not done. Added 2 more in garbage time. She is only the 7th U.S. woman to score 5 goals in a game and earn some love from the announcers.
If you get a start, you want to make an impact with this opportunity, and Crystal Dunn has done that.
Dunn's summer will be one to watch if the former Tar Heel can make the roster and rock the Stars and Stripes in the Olympics in August. Along with Dunn, World Cup participants Tobin Heath, Ashlyn Harris, Megan Klingenberg, and Whitney Engen are virtual locks for the American squad, while current UNC senior and New Zealander Katie Bowen will also look to make the Kiwi team again. Ugh.
Find out how Duke students reacted to the big basketball win against the Tar Heels when we come back.
Practice, games, and class. Haley Ray shows us one group of athletes who add educating students about mental health to their busy schedules.
UNC's got swag. No, not that kind of swag. Something we athletes got is a group made up of student athletes who work to educate the student body about multiple issues. Off the field, swag tackles mental health, alcohol abuse, sexual assault, and hazing.
We're working really hard for that, so that should be really exciting to kind of just get the word out there and show that UNC student athletes care and they do more than just playing on the field and going to study hall.
Swag holds events like What's Up Wednesday to promote self-love and community among student athletes. Bartending classes also teach students how to consume alcohol responsibly.
A lot of people don't know the real facts of how many drinks it takes to get tipsy, or how much is too much, and eating before or after to make a difference. Things like that you can see their faces and their reactions.
The club has continued to grow since its start 4 years ago. Members will continue to spread awareness on campus and help student athletes take better care of themselves both on and off the field. In Chapel Hill, I'm Haley Ray reporting.
UNC Swag will launch the Don't Assume campaign in March, a project the group has been working on for over a year.
So those athletes definitely had swag, unlike a certain school 8 miles down the road. Brett Thompson went back to Duke yet again for another installment of In Tent City.
The last time I talked to Tent 2 in Shesheskyville, it was sunny, a little chilly, and certainly lively. Just a few days later, it all came crashing down for Tent 2 during a storm, literally.
We woke up at 4:15 or 4:30 and it was windy. And then the corner of the tent collapsed, which meant that the tarp really was gone. All the stakes had been pulled up.
The rough start to the week came just before the first UNC Duke showdown of the season, when tent members experienced a roller coaster of emotion.
The whole game, I was hoping that we would win, but I wasn't really sure even at the end. My heart was beating the whole time.
Despite UNC leading for most of the game, Tent 2 never lost hope.
I never thought for sure, we're definitely going to lose, because that game felt to me very similar to the Austin Rivers game, where you guys just couldn't put us away.
Eventually, Duke battled back for its first lead of the second half on a Luke Kennard 3, all leading to a frantic final play.
Everyone got super hyped. Then after that, people kind of went off to do their own thing. I went to a separate place. Other people came to K-ville to welcome the team home. So all in all, I think everyone had a pretty great night.
So rest easy, Carolina fans. I'm sure you're happy to know Duke students got to celebrate while we went home empty-handed yet again. In literally the worst place on earth, I'm Brett Thompson reporting.
Wow, Brett, can't believe you made me relive that. That was
It still
so
hurts,
painful.
Brett. Why does he do that to us?
Stop going back.
We're
going
over
back.
it.
Durham,
we don't want to
just
see anymore. We don't like the
go.
tents.
We don't like the stories.
I'm intrigued by the tents. I just don't understand.
Yeah, sure.
You gotta reel it in.
Do what you do, Brett. That's all we've got here on Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.